Hello everyone, welcome to Karma Education. This is the channel for UGC NET education subject and it has a target to cover the whole syllabus of UGC NET education subject. I have completed the subunit A of Unit 2 and I have started to present my view on subunit B of Unit 2. Thank you for your appreciation. Stay tuned viewers. These topics are included in the syllabus of subunit B, unit 2. I have completed already the first and second topics. These are relationship between policies and education. First one, and second one, linkage between educational policy and national development. And next one is determinants of educational policy. In this video, I am Konkona Pal going to talk about determinants of educational policy. Introduction. In introduction, we will just recapitulate the meaning of the term policy and educational policy. Policy. Policy is a set of principles or rules or standards to guide decisions to achieve desired objectives with an organization. Policies are generally adopted by a governance body within an organization. It is a written contract or agreement. Next is educational policy. Education policy consists of the principles and government policies in the educational sphere, as well as the collection of laws and rules that govern the operation of education systems. Education occurs in many forms for many purposes through many institutions. Educational policy helps to frame the structure of teaching learning procedures, to establish institutions, or you can say various schools, colleges, universities, and to create standards of quality for learning. So this is the educational policy. Educational policy which helps to frame the structure of teaching learning procedure, to enhance the quality of teaching, or you can say to establish various institutions. Okay. Now the thing is that policy and law both looks like similar, but both are different. Policy guides the decisions of an organization, whereas law is used for the implementation of order and justice. Isn't it? Policy is a plan for an action, and law is an established procedure or standard that must be followed by the members of the society. Policy can be used to make a law, whereas laws require certain policies to create and implement law. Okay, so this is the difference between policy and law. Now some examples of educational policy are National Policy on Education 1968, 86, 92, National Policy on Education 2019, etc. According to Trolla 2003, educational policy is a specification of principles and actions related to educational issues, which are followed or which should be followed and which are designed to bring about desired goals. Very simple and easy definition of educational policy it is that educational policy is a set of principles and action which are specified to educational issues, okay, and which should be followed to achieve our desired goals. Determinants of educational policy. Determinants are the background motivator to produce anything. There are many factors which plays a role as determinants to formulate and implement educational policy. Society, economy, culture, parental education, physical facilities, political aspects, these all are extremely related or connected with education system. Society as one of the major determinator of educational policy. The aim of education depends on societal needs. Operation Blackboard, equalization of education, universalization of education, vocationalization of education, etc. schemes were launched as per the demands of society during various different time period. Sometimes society demands education for all. Sometimes it demands jobs after obtaining educational degree. The societal need helps to fix the aim of education. So the aim or nature of education changes with the need of society. Another important factor of behind the educational policy formulation is economy. First one is economic growth rate. What it is? It is the percentage of change in the value of all of the goods and services that produced in a nation during a specific period of time as compared to an earlier period. Okay, economic growth rate measures the change in GDP. What is GDP? Gross domestic product measures the market value of all the goods and services that produced in a specific time period. So, economic growth rate is the measurement of GDP. Okay, then inflation means price hike. Then unemployment occurs when a person who is actively searching for employment but is unable to find work. Okay, who is not seeking any employment, he or she will not be counted as unemployed. Okay, unemployment is used as a measure of the economic health. How the economy is strong, you can measure through unemployment. It is one of the factor. Then unemployment rate is the number of unemployed people divided by the number of people in the labor force. Unemployment rate can be calculated by dividing the unemployed people, number of unemployed people with number of people in the labor force. Okay. So, economic growth rate, GDP, inflation, unemployment all have great impact on educational policy. Based on these aspects, policymakers recommend to government to formulate policies on education. It has direct impact. It has direct impact on educational expenditure. What do you mean by educational expenditure? It means as per the economic growth rate, how much percentage of GDP would be fixed for the education purpose, that is decided. Okay. Our country spent 3% of its total GDP on education in 2018 to 19, or about 5.6 lakh crore only. As per National Policy on Education 1968's recommendation, the educational expenditure should be 6% of our national income, and this was implemented also by the government at that time. But now the percentage of educational expenditure is 3%. It means government reduced educational expenditure. So all these are interrelated. Economy has great impact on educational expenditure for the setup of new institutions, for the research work, etc. All aspects of education. Okay. The next interesting factor behind the educational policy formulation, that is culture. India is 7th largest country in terms of area, whereas 2nd largest country in terms of population. In India, 1652 spoken languages as well as 9 recognized religions can be found. Policymakers have to keep in mind this diversity of the nation as well as these diverse needs of the nation when they will go to frame the educational policy. Now, parental education. Destiny of a nation is being shaped in her classroom. It was very impactful quotation of Kothari Commission. But it was also true that mother is the first teacher of a child. Parents decides whether their child will go to school or not. So each level of education system indirectly dependent on parental education. The mind setup of parents, their level of education matters behind the educational policy formulation. Physical facilities. Education needs a specific physical setup for teaching learning process. So availability of necessary facilities, distribution of facilities and the use of available facilities. 3 things. Availability of necessary facilities, distribution of facilities and the use of available facilities from the educational expenditure is another important determinator of educational policy formulation. Political aspects. Policymaker can provide various decisions, suggestions or recommendations to the government related with various aspects of education. But like other stakeholders, policymakers also don't have any power to implement any policy. Government implement policies which is influenced by national political elite. National political elite, they use education as a weapon to change our society. Politics plays an unavoidable role in educational policy formulation. Now, I think it is clear to you about what are the determinants of educational policy and how it affects on the educational policy formulation. Be connected with my channel to get more information about each topic of UGC NET education syllabus. I am also taking online class for UGC NET education subject. Interested viewers can comment me in the chat box. Thank you.